Hello guys, as it's Monday, so we'll analyze our weekly charts for Forex market for this week. Last week, talking about the last week, we had very good analysis and many things worked in favor. Like for example, if you would remember, we always discuss this channel for the dollar index chart and it exactly went in favor. We discussed that we should continue to be on the selling side of dollar and we have a big bearish closing. And if we would have been towards the direction last week, we would have made a lot of money. From the last week's movement. If we talk about GBP being strong, it went up. If you talk about Euro USD being strong, we had a very bullish closing. So market went exactly in favor on what we discussed about. So last week was a pretty good week and let's continue the momentum for this week as well. So talking about this week, the way the candle has closed, dollar index, I expect to fall further, but again it has a nearby support. So I'm expecting the dollar index to fall till here. So if it breaks below, then it would be a proper start of the downward trend. But there's a possibility that market falls here and then spikes and might close like a bullish confirmation. So that we'll get to know by this week's closing. But as of now, we'll continue to be on the selling side, but after a proper pullback. But our support is nearby, so just be careful. As in when you reach your support targets, just book your profits and come out and then wait for the weekly closing to happen and take your decisions accordingly for the next week. So this week we continue to be on the selling side of dollar, but support is nearby is what I want to mention specifically. As we have discussed dollar, now talking about gold chart XAU USD. If you notice, it's very weird that gold didn't move much last week after so much movement in dollar index. It had a very big bearish close. Generally, it has an inverse correlation. If dollar falls so much, then gold generally has a very big bullish candle, but it didn't happen. So what I could figure out, market has been consolidating. It's due for a big movement. So I'm expecting this week gold can move a lot. It is due for the movement which it did not do last week. So you can expect a huge amount of movement this week. So be very careful with gold, because it's been just a very small movement has been happening and market has been in a consolidation. But I would expect, as dollar is on the downside, there's a possibility gold can be on the upside. But if I see the overall analysis, this is a trend line which I can notice. So you can draw from here, you can extend it further as well. So I'll draw from here itself. So this was a support line. It did then it became a resistance, then it did a breakout, and it can become a support line here. So market has a tendency to fall till here and go up, or it can go up and then fall till here. So it's very indecisive. The candle closing is also very indecisive, as it can do a lot of movement this week. So it can be on either of these sides. So I would say be careful with gold. You can do intraday trading in short-term time frame, buy at the support, sell at the resistance. But I would not suggest you to have too much trades on this on gold chart currently, because this is a very strong support, no doubt about it. If you can notice this trend line, which is a resistance converted to support, again a resistance, now it's again acting, it's coinciding here. So it's nothing but a confluence, right? I will add my moving averages also. Let's see if that is helping. So just let me close all this. Yeah, weighted moving average should be 30. And then see, it's exactly coinciding here. That's why I wanted to add the moving average. Let me see exponential moving average also. Okay. That should be 200. Okay, so that is here. If it falls down, then this should be the target. It is coinciding with this resistance here. So this would be a target if it breaks down. So I will not talk about this just now. This is the main thing. So my 30, so this is a very good important confluence level, but fall from this to this is also very big. It's almost $20. So what I'm expecting, gold can fall till here and then go up from there, or it can go up and then eventually from here it can fall down. So just trade intraday. Long term direction wise, I would not suggest you to hold on gold. I expect it to at least test this level once again. So I'm expecting a fall in gold, but temporary fall. Overall trend wise, as dollar looks weak, so I'm bullish on the gold overall trend wise, but I'm expecting that it can fall down, touch this level and then go up. So major pullback is expected. If I go in a smaller time frame also, currently as it's playing below the moving average, so you can expect it to come down. But overall, if you see, it's been sideways. So gold clarity would be once movement starts happening, and let me delete the long-term stuff. Once the movement starts happening, and then you can see which side the breakout happens, and accordingly you can be. So this is a support, this is a resistance. Market is just been on the range. So once it breaks out on the either side, we'll have a better clarity. So I would suggest wait for that. Don't just jump into the trade expecting that breakout can happen on the buying side or on the selling side. Don't expect it. Let the breakout happen, and accordingly you take a trade. So that's about gold. Now moving back to our currency. Okay, before that we'll also analyze our oil chart. That is another commodity. So oil also, if you notice, it's in a phase where it's also at a support. If you notice, there's a strong support area. And another perspective what I can see is this is also a support turned into resistance. Okay, breakout pullback. So this is also playing in between the range. So if you notice, commodities has been ranging, not doing a major movement. So you can expect this week that it can break out on either of these sides. So both oil and gold, you can expect big movements to happen. This is also another thing that I can notice. So these are all ranging between, this is a resistance, this is also a resistance. It is coinciding here. So it can happen that market can go up till here and then fall from there. So until this, either it breaks out on the upside or on the downside, we won't be clear with oil. So oil and gold both looks indecisive, whereas dollar has a very clear understanding of being on the sell side. So as we are bearish on dollar, we need to be bullish on Euro USD, which is very much obvious. So it looks like to go up. It's just that you need to be careful that a resistance is nearby. You can see a clear resistance. You can draw like this. The way howsoever you see it, you can draw your resistance line. So this is one resistance which I can notice. So expect a buy, and you can expect the first target to reach till here. So Euro USD looks like a decent buy. Wherein GBP USD, but mainly Euro USD could be a buy because dollar being weak. Euro as a strength, we'll try to check by comparing with other currencies. But again, dollar looks like a sell. That's why Euro USD is a buy. If you notice, GBP USD is a buy, right? It's a very strong bullish closing, and it's just been going up. Last week also we expected this pair to go up drastically, at least till this resistance level, which has happened. So just now also currently I'm expecting it to go up, but it's again near the resistance. So if you notice, this is our resistance level. So it can at least, or it is also coinciding around our moving average. At least it can go up till here is what I'm expecting this week also. So we'll continue our momentum of being on the buying side of GBP USD. But I would say just wait for proper pullbacks and then re-enter. If you are holding on to your trades, you can continue holding on. So that's the prediction for analysis for GBP. In between Euro and GBP, which is more stronger, I think GBP looks more stronger to me. So if Euro GBP is a sell, which it is, so see if it's been falling. If you remember weeks back when this engulfing was formed, we were on the selling side, and it has exactly reached our target. Long-term target also we discussed that it should be around here because it was a vertical move on the upside. So fall should also be the vertical, which is very well proven here, and market has been falling. So Euro JP, though it's reaching the support level, this was the support which I was expecting it to reach, but it still has a little bit of movement left. So again, Euro looks weaker than GP, or you can say other way around, GP is more stronger than Euro. So clearly represented by this bearish body dominating candle. So in between Euro and GP, GP is more stronger. Now talking about New Zealand USD. The way the weekly candle has closed, dollar being weak, New Zealand looks strong. It has closed like a bullish candle, though it went down a lot, but it got rejected and ultimately closed like a bullish candle. So overall strength looks good. Again, I'm expecting, so everywhere if you notice, dollar has a nearby support or resistance, all dollar pairs. So this also I'm expecting, you can draw something like this. You can also draw something like horizontal one also, if you notice horizontal. So this is a support, breakout, pullback, coinciding with the moving average. So I'm expecting this much movement is due. So everywhere dollar index has a nearby support or resistance. So just be careful if you're continuing on selling dollar. As and when it reaches to your target prices, just book your profits. And target prices, I mean, as and when it reaches to these areas, just book your profits and you can come out. Or you can wait for candle confirmation in smaller time frames also. As and when you see a rejection candle confirmation, you can book your profits. So coming back to AUD USD, same thing. It has closed bullish, but it is again near the resistance. If you use this as a trend line, clearly see this much movement, similar position like we had in New Zealand USD. So everyone is nearing to the support or resistance, in this case the resistance. It still has this much movement due. So yeah, all these pairs against dollar, euro USD, GP USD, New Zealand USD, AUD USD, all are looking like a buy because dollar is sell. In its individual strength, GP is more stronger than euro. In between AUD and NZD, we should check with AUD New Zealand as a pair. So this is the indecisive spinning top. Though it is at the resistance, which means New Zealand looks more stronger just because it is at the resistance, but the more preference will be given to the current candle close. The strength is divided, so you can keep both on the buying side. AUD also looks strong, New Zealand also looks strong. It is not showing one side preference, right? But overall, if you see as per pattern wise, there's a possibility that New Zealand can become stronger than AUD, and AUD NZD can fall because it is at a very good resistance level. I've drawn these two trend lines, you can clearly notice that, and it's a confluence level also. So overall long-term trend I'm talking about, New Zealand can be more stronger than AUD, but currently talking about this week, both are sharing equal strength because of this spinning top. So in between AUD and NZD, both have the same strength, but comparing between GBP and AUD or GBP and NZD, GBP looks more stronger, it's very clear. So GBP looks very strong if you see GBP against AUD or GBP against NZD or GBP against Euro. It's at a very, the closing is very strong, though it is near the resistance. If you notice in this case also it is near the resistance. So there is a possibility that GBP movement might be done, but again, we will go with the previous week closing. Current strength is with the GBP. So GBP looks strong, but I would suggest trade on those GBP pairs which has a potential to move. Potential to move in the sense, like for example, let's say JPY has a potential to move this much still, right? So this is what I mean with potential to move, not like pair like GP AUD which is at the resistance. You trade this pair once it breaks out on the upside. If GP continues to go up, then definitely this will break out. But currently prefer this pair GP JPY because first of all GP is on the strong side, JPY is on a weak side. One is that edge. In GP AUD both are on the strong side, but GP is more stronger. That is the case. But coming back, as we haven't discussed JPY still, coming back it has a potential to move till here because I don't see any other next resistance in between that point. So this has more potential, like for example GP CHF also has some potential. GP CAD not that much, but still it has a potential to go up. In comparison with GP AUD and GP NZD, it has reached the resistance. It's just that one. But otherwise, comparison wise, GP looks the strongest, then AUD and NZD, and then Euro, I think. Let's compare Euro New Zealand. So New Zealand is more stronger, clearly more stronger than Euro. It's a proper pin bar, and that too at the resistance. You can clearly draw a trend line here. Right, so it's a very strong pin bar which clearly shows that New Zealand is stronger than Euro. In case of AUD also there is again a pin bar, so it clearly represents that in between, AUD is more stronger than Euro again. So if talking about priority wise, GBP, then AUD and NZD, and then third comes Euro. but euro is weak against AUD, it's against New Zealand. So it's very clear when we talk about euro USD as a pair, it's going up because dollar is weak. In its individual strength, euro is not that strong in comparison to other pairs. Now coming back to Canadian dollar, so USD CAD, like we discussed, we highlighted this pair for last week. We were like, this should be one of the pairs which you should keep an eye and trade, and it exactly went in our favor. So dollar was weak last week and we were bullish on the Canadian dollar, so it continues to fall down. This week also, the way the candle has closed, it looks like dollar is weak, but we need to check if Canadian dollar is strong or not. But against dollar, yes, definitely Canadian dollar is strong against dollar because dollar looks very weak. But against other pairs, like for example, GBP is strong. So GBP CAD should be on the weaker side, not on the stronger side. So overall, if you see, CAD is strong only against weak pairs. You can see dollar. Another weak pair, what I can notice is, I think it should be USD JPY. The dollar and JPY, as it has closed indecisive, which means both are on the equal strength of weakness. So if you check CAD JPY, so in this case CAD should be looking stronger, see. Otherwise, because JPY is very weak, so CAD in itself is not showing. As I said, oil is also indecisive. Likewise, CAD is also indecisive. CAD is weak against strong pairs. Like for example, if you check it against GBP, it will be weak, right? Because GBP is very strong. But if you check against JPY, it will be strong because JPY is very weak. So it's indecisive, and also it looks to go up. CAD looks more than CAD looking strong, JPY is looking weak. If we talk about every JPY pair, New Zealand JPY is looking bullish. GBP JPY, we have already discussed, it's looking strongly bullish because GBP is strong, JPY is weak. Talking about AUD JPY, again looks on the upside. So on the weaker side, dollar and JPY both are on the selling side. Canadian dollar is indecisive. You can say it depends on whichever side the breakout happens, it will gain strength that side, mainly talking about oil. But CAD is strong against weak, weak against strong. Now talking about Euro JPY will tell us if Euro is stronger. Yeah, Euro is stronger. Or Euro CAD will tell us, yeah, Euro is stronger. On the stronger side, CAD is mainly on the indecisive side. Now last we are left with USD CHF. Okay, it's here. So USD CHF clearly candles shows that it's on the dollar is on the sell side, CHF should be on the strong side. If CHF individually how strong it is, we'll get to know by checking, let's say Euro CHF. Okay, in between Euro and CHF looks more strong because we clearly have a rejection candle and it's also a breakout pullback setup. It was support broken out and a pullback. So Euro CHF overall, CHF looks stronger than Euro. So I think we have a very good clarity. I can summarize the entire thing. So on the stronger side, the strongest is GBP. Then comes AUD and NZD. Then comes CHF, then comes Euro. So these are 5 pairs which are on the stronger side, and on the weaker side it's dollar and JPY. And Canadian dollar, you can say it's weak against strong pairs and it's strong against weak pairs. So it's basically in the zone of indecisiveness. So this is the strength for this week, and again I would repeat, just be careful when you are continuing to sell dollar because it's nearing its support. As in when it reaches a support, book your profits and you can come out. So yeah, that's it for this week. I hope the analysis was helpful for you. If any confusion or anything you want to discuss with us, please post it on the comment box. And yeah, that's it for this week. Have a happy trading week. Thank you guys.